don't quite understand why this connection is absolutely bad. We're having quite the event today, people. Okay, well, I'm at a loss at this point. I think we're gonna. Okay, guys, I'm really sorry. Thank you for sticking with us with this. I don't know why this is going so bad left and right, but we are, and we're losing people. I'm really sorry.
Oh my God, it's working.
This is the most insane thing.
I know. I did one of these the other day. I didn't have problems.
Me neither. Okay, Nick, I would love to respond to you, but I cannot. So thank you for yes. Following our weird.
Do you have any questions for us, Nick?
Yeah. Okay, so my next thing, Nikki, I'm sorry, I just keep saying it. So they're really great. We communicate back and forth, and I just kind of promote their product, and they gave me a little discount code for people who are interested in them. And Haley bought one actually a couple months ago, and she loves it. She uses it all the time. She's in Arizona too. And and any questions on that?
Nobody. You said, I don't know. It's been a crap show today. If we can save it.
If it saves, then yes, I'll post it for sure.
I wonder if it's gonna be all pixelated and pausing and.
I don't know what this. This is quite the show. And it goes with my day because I'm feeling so weird today. So it's just.
I know. I feel like same. No questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh my God, I was there. Oh, yes.
First Ippy. This is cheering me up.
Ippy is a bad one. That's why they can only give you like 4 doses.
Well, I'm glad we're cheering you up. We'll just keep screwing up everything and making you laugh.
Your BFF. For me, dexamethasone works the best.
It does.
Like,
Zofran will help with your stomach too.
Yeah.
Good night, Karen. Thank you for watching.
I know. Sorry for the troubles.
The Sun Station?
Yep, that one. Thank you.
Okay, so the
brain surgery.
The Sun Station is actually, I have one at my house. It's right here.
That is so cool.
So found these guys again on Instagram. They are a cute family. They are same thing, kind of went to parks and were sick and tired of just not being able to have sunscreen accessible to them. So they created this product. It works just like a sanitizer station. You would just put your hand under here. And so I am trying to get those in all of my city parks right now in Peoria. Yes, thank you. So I just, and how I did that, or how I got their attention is basically I just spammed the heck out of their account. I posted a thing on my stories every day for 61 days. Jeez. And on the 61st day, they reached out to me, and someone was like, "Hey, we've been following you. We've been wanting to get back to you. We just haven't had a chance." So they're like, "I would love to do a story on you." And basically it was called People of Peoria, and they interviewed me, and we just kind of talked about my story and why I'm so passionate about it. And so then he was like, "Oh, I'm going to take this to the mayor." We kind of touched on it a little bit. She was super excited about your story. I think they're going to do this.
What if you get the key to the city?
Well, then after that, they were like, "We want to do when they install it," is what they said. They're like, "We're going to do like a whole news on you and just kind of like promote your whole thing and let people know what you're doing." And and then the coronavirus hit. So
I know, stupid coronavirus. Yeah, I looked into that Sun Station too, because they do like business advertising, and
they do.
All 3 of my boys play baseball, and there's like no sunscreen or anything like that. So,
that's my next goal, is to have sunscreen be a part of outdoor sports. Like it's a requirement for the uniform.
Oh, good. This is my next segue. What are your future plans?
Oh, well, here I go. I'm just babbling away.
I love
it. Yeah, my goal is to continue with the Sun Station and get it around as many cities as I can. And then second was to start to get sunscreen as part of outdoor sports. There's no reason why that can't be a requirement and should be a requirement. So,
I mean, even like myself, you always see the parents under the easy ups and stuff. And, even the boys, they wear a hat, but it doesn't go all the way around.
Right.
Their arms are exposed. So
it's still, the sun will hit their face still, and they'll still have it on their arms, and, they are covered with their legs, but there's no particular, like soccer is a good example.
Yeah.
Their shorts are long, but not long enough. Their t-shirts, so their necks, their ears, their ears are going to get sunburned. Like there's so much about it, and these young kids, it is where melanoma or skin cancer starts, is when they're younger. So, yeah.
And that's why I am passing on this information to my boys, because I didn't have that. And, in the beginning, they, fought me but after this reoccurrence, they just, okay, Mom, okay.
You won. Yeah. You won.
Like, you don't want to be like me.
Yeah, exactly. You do, but you don't.
Yeah. You want to be cool like me, but.
How are your boys handling everything with you?
Well, the first
and their ages first. How old are they first?
First time in 2017, I had a 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. No. Yes. A 3-year-old, 5-year-old, and 8-year-old. Okay. And so, I'm pretty open, and, the way that I, view life or how I understand the world is through science. So I gave them a quick science lesson on, okay, remember that thing that was on my nose? Well, it's in my body now. It's called this. And, the doctor's going to give me a medicine that makes little soldiers inside my body to go, kill off the bad cancer. And, well, first I asked the oldest one, I'm like, what do you know about cancer? And he's like, people lose their hair. I'm like, oh, well, this is what's going to happen, but, I'm not going to lose my hair. And the other ones were too young, but, then my oldest, at the time, he drew me as a superhero and knives and stuff, fighting the cancer. And so I cried because I was like, oh God, I was hoping that they would just cut it out and it would be fine. But I was like, I have at least a year ahead of me, but now it's my whole life.
Yeah.
But, now they're a little older and they've been very helpful, and, they're learning valuable life lessons, maybe at, how to really use the microwave or cook food, or, can you help your brothers out without, fighting? Like, my head hurts.
Yeah.
Or, now they're just like, here, Mom, let me get that for you. Let me carry that for you.
Oh, so, sweet. Well, that's good. This is something... sadly, that they have to learn it this way, but it's gonna eventually could save their life, so that's amazing.
Or when they grow up, and they'll have more compassion for somebody that's going through something similar.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
How do your girls, how'd they deal with it?
Well, when I was diagnosed the second time, my youngest was 2 weeks old, so I was having a little baby newborn, with rough. Some traumatic. The hardest year was her first year of life, and then at one point, she was 8 months old, and she ended up with getting lice, and it was just are you freaking kidding me? So it was just that year was terrible.
Yeah.
But then my other one was in kindergarten, and same kind of thing. It was mommy's sick, and that sickness is going to make mommy different, and I'm going to try my best to, have everything be okay, but I just want you to know I'm going to fight hard, and, I might lose my hair, and I might be sick, or I might be, withdrawn a little, not withdrawn, but away from you, but that doesn't mean I don't love you, and just try to make her feel soothed as much as I could. And my husband and I's goal was just to make their life not cancer related. Like,
Yeah.
we wanted them to grow up, so they were still in sports. And my husband took them to every freaking game when I was at home with the baby. Like, we did a lot to keep my oldest still having a childhood. We didn't want to have that taken from them, you know, because cancer already takes so much away from the patient, but it, like you said, affects the entire family, and we wanted to give that to them. So
yeah, for sure. We tried to, you know, make sure things were as normal as possible.
Right, you create a new normal for them, and yeah.
So,
Well, that's
so
good.
when you had your like you mentioned your headaches earlier, like mine, like right here, it would pulsate. Like, and it would I feel like it would circulate, and the only thing that would stop it would for me to lay down. And then I wasn't getting any sleep, and I told my oncologist about it, and he's like, well, you know, the sign of brain tumors are you can't sleep through the night. And I was like, no, that's happening.
Oh, I could not. It was terrible.
Yeah.
My brain just, I kept telling everybody, I'm like, I feel like my brain is running out of space. I can't, my brain is has no room inside my head. And my swelling was taking up almost half my head. So that explains it.
My hearing was muffled. I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah. And I think one of the things I want to explain to people is the severity that, you know, melanoma can go to your brain and how scary that is. And I really want to touch more on that. And I think you and I could do something pretty cool with, you know, the whole brain thing. And I don't know, I feel like that needs to be touched on a lot. So yeah,
well,
I just have
you said, earlier, that's, you know, really the only time I was in the hospital was having babies and stuff. So you're taking care of a newborn while you're still trying to recover. But I felt like brain surgery was a vacation.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's scary as hell, but it is the breeziest recovery ever.
And I just felt, you know, besides the, you know, medicines and stuff, but I just, for a while, I felt like I was in this euphoric state. I really wasn't in pain. I was just you know, chill. It was weird. That's the only way I can describe it. It was a euphoria that I've never felt before. I just felt something tingling, as it was healing.
Yeah, it felt mine looked like an inchworm on the top of my head.
Yeah.
It was really weird looking because the staples looked bigger than they actually were. Which is weird. I'm going to grab them. I still have them. I kept them in a jar because I'm weird like that.
No, me too. I have a box of cancer stuff.
Oh,
I saved my hair when it first started falling out after radiation.
Did you really?
I know it's weird, but yeah, I did.
So these are the staples.
Ooh, I love it. Oh my God.
They looked so big in my head. They're really not. So there's 33 of them. There's 33 staples that were in my head at that point.
Wow.
But yeah, I can't help but save this kind of stuff. You had what?
The dissolving stitches.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, so I didn't have to go back or anything.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, they pulled these out of my head and I didn't feel a thing. They're so weird. They're let me see, I haven't really looked at them in a long time, but they're kind of ooh, someone's got, okay, that's they got stuff on them.
I love it. I love stuff.
That's awesome. They're can you see that?
Oh, weird. They're
really weird. They're
that's interesting.
V's or something.
How'd they pull those out?
I have no idea. It just it looked like pliers, but they look like little weird M's.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's unexpected.
Yeah. Agreed.
So
go ahead.
Are you on the Badass Melanoma Warriors page on Facebook?
I don't think so.
So there's also a local woman here named Martha Bishop, and she's also somebody who had I don't think she had surgery, but she had radiation to like some brain tumors, and I was chatting with her about that, and she's like, yeah, after I had my first treatment, I went to my son's dance or something like that, and I was like, okay.
I did that too.
What?
The day after, my daughter was having a recital for school, and my parents and everybody, all of my family was like, we'll go, don't worry about it. And I went in the room, I got dressed, I came out, and everyone's like, are you insane? You're not going. And I was like, no, I'm going, and you can't freaking stop me. Like, I'm going. So I went, and I stood up, and I recorded the whole thing, and my dad said I was, like, wobbly. So he, like, held me with his back of his hand, like, he just held me up so I wouldn't fall over.
There was a lot of, like, I had a card, and then, like, as I didn't have to use that anymore, I just kind of, like, slid against the wall.
Yeah. I nothing, if I could do something when I was during treatment or cancer related at all, and my kids were involved, I would go. If I could get there and stand and sit in a chair, nothing would stop me from a kid related situation if I could.
Yeah.
I was always big on that. So
yeah, mine kind of happened around the holidays, so school was starting to close up shop or whatever, so I tried my best with homework.
Yeah, but it's brain fog, it doesn't work well.
Yeah.
So what's your vision for the future as far as your melanoma and your clothing line and all that? Like what do you want to do?
We need to take over Arizona. You said Haley lives here too?
Yeah, she does.
We need to take over Arizona and promote this some safety, like collaborate some way, somehow. And I mean, I don't know what it's like in Phoenix, but here they have a skin cancer institute, but like they don't really do anything besides the cancer walk. So, I don't know if I want to do a walk or something, but some fun way to promote, small business and sun safety.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
We got to put our brain heads together and figure something out. 2 brains might be better than one. 2 broken brains.
Yeah, right now mine's still kind of broken. So, lots of charades and,
My family always says, they're like, honey, like my husband, he's like, honey, I told you. And I'm like, I don't remember. He's like, you never remember anything. He's like, honestly, I told you. And I'm like, no, you didn't. And we're like, and my daughter's the same way. She's like, Mom, I told you. And I'm like, you didn't say thank you. She's like, I'm like, she's like, you didn't say, I asked you to say thank you. She's like, I just said it. And I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah. Well, please do it again, constant. Okay? Like, broken brain.
Yeah, it's constant. So, and with fibromyalgia, like, that is a symptom
tell me about
as well.
Did that come after cancer?
It came after treatment. I think it was, I have it written down actually because I never remember what treatment it was that it came after.
No, me too.
Okay, so it came after I did temozolomide the chemotherapy. So that was June of 2010. I went to the ER and I started complaining about muscle issues. My extremities were hurting. I had bone pain. And that never went away from there. So, and then they said like part of temozolomide is like 10% of patients get like a toxicity where they're like having myalgias and things like that. And so for a while, they just blamed it on the chemo and were saying like, oh, it's a side effect for years. And then finally I got diagnosed and I've been dealing with it for about 6-7 years. And that's constant pain. That's unbearable.
So what's your pain right now on a 1 to 10?
Probably like a 7.5. And that's a lot. That's like a good day.
Oh my God.
It is terrible. It is like it's like you work out vigorously, like you have had the most in-depth workout you've ever had, and you know how you're so sore afterwards, your body just hurts. That's the best way I can describe the pain. Well, thank you, I appreciate that, but
I know, all these things that I'm putting into my body, or, you know, just messing with my brain, like, what's going to come, if there's anything going to come in the future, you know? Am I going to lose my street cred because I had, you know, double craniotomy?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, I think people don't, like my quote that I always say, like, I'm cancer free, but I'm not free of cancer. It's 100% the truth. Like, it is always haunting, and there's always side effects, and there's like aftermath of, you know, your mental state, and so much goes into just cancer more than the fact that, you know, okay, I don't have tumors anymore. It's just so huge, you know. It just never ends.
Think the reoccurrence, like, was really a blow, you know, to my psyche. And, you know, usually, you know, when something negative happens, I rebound pretty quick, but, you know, it took me a while, and I still, you know, this time I'm like, well, I'm just going to take advantage of everything. And, you know, one of them, like, I wanted to go see a counselor or whatever, because I've never had, like, therapy or anything.
Yeah,
I just haven't made it yet. Especially, like, I wasn't able to drive since I was diagnosed with brain tumors in October for, like, 4 months, because, you know, the surgery, just worried about seizures and, you know, brain bleeds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So now that I can drive, but then, you know, the coronavirus happened, so...
Right.
One of these days, I guess.
Are you, you're a high risk, right?
No, because, I guess if you have a heightened immune system, I don't know. How technical do you want to get? You know, how deep do you want to get? I think that I'm not, but, you know, I have a friend that works in the ER and, you know, dealing with the COVID and stuff, and, you know, I don't know. She's like, I would feel bad if I gave it to you. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, I mean, how is COVID, are you considered immunocompromised?
Well, I have a third of my right lung, a third of that got cut out. So,
oh, God.
Yeah, so I've never talked about my lung surgery yet. It's just it's like the most traumatic experience of my life. So I haven't really talked about that. I haven't been, like, mentally preparing myself for it. I'm going to try and do it this month. But yeah, so I'm considered a medium risk just because of that, you know, the respiratory part of it. My oncologist doesn't want that to affect my breathing or how it would be, because even if I still take a really big deep breath, I get a pain in my lower lung. So, yeah, I don't know how it would be if that were to affect me.
I think because I'm under, you know, immunotherapy treatment currently, you know, maybe that's why I'm not considered immunocompromised. But yeah, you know, I had, you know, the lung issues, but, like, that's shrinking now.
Yeah.
Some lymph node involvement there, but, you know, my last scans, everything was shrinking, so I hope that continues to happen.
Go ahead.
I said, I don't know if I want lung surgery.
You do not. Trust me on that.
I had that lung biopsy, and even, like, you know, I felt like it took a whole week to be like, I can breathe.
Yeah. It was a traumatic experience for me. So did you just take the IPI and then Nivo? Is that the only drugs or, like, chemo or therapies you've done?
Yes. And so I don't know for how long, but eventually I'm supposed to go on the maintenance dose of just the Nivo. Okay. So is that, given I haven't had therapy and chemo or anything like that in so long, like, is that, like, that's pretty much what I've seen everybody take? Is that, like, the main drug that is out there for? Yeah, I think IPI was the first one, and, you know, then all these drugs are related, like family, so, like, then came Nivo, I think, and, you know, they have other ones out there, but I think that's the first line of defense, and, you know, also depending on your genetic profile, you know, that's how they determine which drug to give you. Yeah, Claire she's pretty convinced her whole family had COVID, and she said it was, like, unbearable on the lungs.
it would just come at her, and it would like come as a really bad back pain, and like she just said it was, you know, terrible. It was like fine one day, and then the next day she just hit her like a wall. It was just like all of a sudden, I'm sick. And yeah, she said I was out and about doing, like, going to the store and doing things, and then the next day, bam, it was like I got sick.
Well,
so, yeah.
hopefully they get that antibody testing there eventually.
Yeah. Oh yeah, her lungs, she said it felt like it was burning.
Oh God, yeah, that would suck.
She said they're not doing any testing right now.
Weren't they like just starting? Like they're a little behind us, right?
I think so.
Maybe it's
I
coming.
don't know, Claire. Maybe you know. Maybe it's coming. Maybe she doesn't know yet. I don't know. I'm not sure.
She's listening. I had another question for you.
Okay.
I feel like when it's hot, and you know, it could be the swelling on my brain still, but like I feel like I'm extra sensitive to the heat. Did you ever feel that?
I have, yeah, because I have like cold the neck, so I have like hot flashes a lot.
Yeah.
And so I don't, like, they've never really been able to figure out why I constantly have that, because they tested like my hormone issues and they were fine. And so I don't know, I have them all the time. So I do have a sensitivity for sure.
Do you have a metal plate in your head?
I do not.
Oh, I got two.
Really?
So now
So
when
they
I
have, because I saw in your thing, it looked like they just pulled it, like cut a hole out and like pulled your brain and then just like pulled it out. That picture's insane, by the way. I don't know how you got that.
Well, I asked if they, first I asked if they could like give me the bone.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, like some people get to keep, like you have your staples, right? So I wanted something like that. And they're like, no, you know, HEPA violations, blah, blah, blah. And then the resident surgeon guy and the nurse, I was like, I really want pictures. So the nurse was like, okay. And then like I had to, like I called the neuro office and they didn't get them to me. And then I stalked the resident and like, because I work at the university and, you know, it was at the university. So I emailed him and I'm like, can you please text my pictures?
Yeah. Well,
and
I have a
usually
picture
like doctors don't respond, but
no,
he did.
Cool. That's cool. So, I have a photo of a tumor too, not my brain, which I wish I had, but it was actually my armpit, and they're weird looking. Like, I remember telling my doctor, I was like, I need to see what the fudge this thing is that is haunting my body. Like, I need to see it. And so she was like, okay, I'll take a photo and I'll give it to you after I'm done. And so there it was. I have a photo of one I'll probably share down the road.
Yes, too. You should, because like people need to see, and like the one where it's all like open and stuff. I was hoping they'd get me like with the halo on my head. That would have been cool.
Yeah. Oh, the metal ring and keeping your head in
so
place.
I remember after like recovery, like it was like there was like this oozing spot here, and it like was driving me nuts, and I'm like, oh, that's where the halo was.
Did they have to shave like little spots to put like little brain function attachments?
I don't know. I think that they did that, but I didn't get any pictures of that. Like, I wonder if like they made me talk during it, like you always see it on Grey's Anatomy or something.
Were you awake?
No. But like, you know, they had to do the neuro stuff. Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Prior to, they shaved like 7 spots all over my head and put little stickers, and then those things like just checked my brainwaves during the surgery. And so I have photos of that, but that's that.
Oh my gosh, you should share it.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, it was crazy because they like take the bone out and then like there's your brain, and they had to like cut a brain flap. Yeah. Cut out the melanoma, and I'm sure they scooped it out like yours. Like I want to know what tool they used to do that.
I'm just like you. I'm like, okay, well, you're doing all this to my body. I want to know what it looks like, what kind of tool you use. Like I've gotten to the point where I can watch my blood come out of my arm, and I'm like, prick doesn't bother me anymore. It's just I'm so used to it. It just doesn't affect.
I'm still
it's more interesting to me. It's more interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to me. I just don't like it when it happens to me.
Oh, for sure. Like, yeah, you don't want to go through it, but it's so like, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just more, I guess, in tune with everything now. Like, I just feel like I'm not so much more afraid. I'm more like, okay, well, why are you doing that? What is it going to do to me? What's the effect? Like, I'm more engaged, I guess.
Yeah, and I've always been aware of my body, and now I'm extra aware. And you know, it could be to the point of what's that when you're like paranoid about hypochondriac.
Oh yeah.
But now
we're both like.
I know 2 brains equals 1.
Yeah.
So.
When you were first diagnosed, did you what did you tell your family, and like how did that all go about? Or who'd you tell first, or your husband, or like what? How did that go out?
I would remember I was sequencing, and I went the week before to get it cut out, and like he's like, oh, you'll have the results in a week, and it was like a week and a day, and I was like, oh, like, and deep down I was like, this is not good. And so I was in the middle of work, and he called, and he's like, I'm so sorry, but you have melanoma. And I just like, I work at the cancer center, so I was like,
so you knew that
I knew
what you were in for it.
Yeah. So I just broke down, I cried, and I went to my boss's office, and I was like, I have to go home, like, I just found out I had melanoma. And he's like, are you okay, you're keep me posted. And so yeah, I probably called my husband first, but the second time, like, because my husband runs a business, so he's like, you know, he has to really go out and work. And so my dad and my aunt, my stepdad and his wife, they all like took me to my first, you know, appointments, whatever.
Oh, right. And I had that too. The whole family wanted to be there.
You know, we went over all these scans that I had that day, and I really did not expect it to be on my brain.
Yeah.
And so then we're like, you know, we're scrolling through the images, and he was like, you have 3 on your brain. And I was like, oh my God. But my head hurt so bad that I did not want to cry. So like, you know, we finished up, there's a pharmacy there, you know, the doc got me the steroids or whatever. And I called my husband, and I told him, I'm not going to cry because it's going to hurt my head too much. But I have 3 tumors on my brain, and I need brain surgery. And he's like, well, what about my hunt? I was like, no, you already went hunting for like 3 days. Like, we can't. So.
Are you documenting your story at all? Like, are you journaling or like making
I've never been, like? I think I'm doing it through the pictures and these little videos. I wish that I would have done more like video stuff, but like I suck at that, and you know, I'm trying to get better. But I'm not a big writer, but just like through, you know, social media or whatever, I have lots of pictures on my phone, and you know, I'm just try.
Do you feel good about how you're like, I guess, sharing and promoting like awareness, and like, is there anything you would do differently if you could from like the beginning to now? Or just your story in general, like if you could change some things?
I don't know. I mean, I guess we could always be better at something. I feel like I do a decent job, but you know, between my brain and being a mom, and like now I'm back at work, I'm trying to run a business.
I like your videos, all your little cancer prick videos. I love them. I love
Thank you.
them.
Like, they're really good for TikTok and like that, but like I tried to like animate a logo, and you know, I mean, I think videos are fun, but I really think that, I don't know, I have all the Adobe software stuff, and I try to animate my logo, and it's so much more for me complicated than a
lot of work.
Photoshop.
Yeah. It is a lot of work. It's no doubt about that.
TikTok and Instagram and
So you're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Are all the names the same, Melanoma Glows, or is it different?
Well, since I'm trying to use it more for my business, it's Desert Camo Apparel.
Is that where you're promoting most of, like, if someone wanted to find you and like talk about your story or look
I do
you up?
both because basically my private pages are public, and I've turned that into business because like on Facebook, I don't have a lot of interaction. I have more interaction on Instagram with my business, but then I feel like, you know, my personal stuff, I have more outreach.
Yeah.
So I'm sure people get disgusted at it, you know, like, oh, she's posting much stuff, but, you know, I don't know. I don't care. I'm going to do it anyways.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Do you, if you could tell yourself something before your diagnosis, or one thing you would tell yourself prior to being a melanoma warrior, what would it be?
Oh my God. Look, I don't know how to answer your questions. They're so deep. I just want to deflect and keep it fun.
I know.
I am too by myself. I don't know. I guess maybe like learning not to sweat the small things or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, like the kids, you know, leave their toys out or whatever. I'm a little more relaxed on that.
Yeah.
Like it could be worse. I mean, I'm still trying to teach them to grow up to be, you know, decent human beings, but, you know, I don't know.
No, that's actually
it's hard because, you know, I'm just trying to like keep myself alive right now. And, you know, recently, especially the last, like before, like the last, you know, second to last time I saw the doctor, like I was really feeling icky, and I'm like, I'm a bad mom, I'm a bad employee, I'm a bad wife, like, you know, I just come home.
Yeah, that was feeling. Yeah.
So
it's crazy. You got a crazy story. But
that's why we're doing this.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why I just love following you. I think you're gonna do good stuff with people.
Thank you. And we're gonna do something together and do good things. And like I love that. Like I feel like you just came on the scene. Like I don't know. I feel like I'm new to I'm new to Instagram like by like, you know, only a couple of years now, just for my business or whatever. Like I was on Facebook, and then I got off just because it's like so much drama. But then I was like, well, now I have to do it for my business. But like you just came on, and I was like, oh, okay. Like I love like I remember your photo shoot, and it's cool. And you know, I think like more people need to hear it.
Yeah.
So I appreciate. Oh, and thank you again for like bringing us all together. Like, can you imagine next year? Night, Claire.
Good night, hon. Yeah.
So, okay. So
if anyone who's watching, I did create some little support groups. So if you're interested, just let me know. You can come on and chit chat with some of us.
So do you work or you stay at home?
No, I stay at home. Okay. I've tried to hold a job, but physically, mentally, I just can't. And I don't qualify for disability. Fibromyalgia isn't considered one.
That's dumb.
Cancer survivor is not considered one. I was on it for when I was really probably like the last couple of years of surviving through cancer. I was on it, and then they dropped me, so I wasn't sick enough. So
I know, like that's dumb. So I had short-term disability. Basically, I provide the benefits for my family. My work-life balance, like that's really, I mean, I love my job, but like I work with amazing people, and I guess working with cancer, like, you know, they really get it. So, you know, like, I don't know what I would do if I, you know, had some other kind of job, but now I'm trying to get my long-term disability, but that's been a pain because it's paperwork and, oh, you didn't fill this out. And now it's like the COVID and, you know, they have to talk to the nurse, but like nobody's responding. And I'm just like, I don't want to do it anymore. It's not worth my time. I'm in trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
I agree.
So you are on Facebook, right?
I am. I'm on it, and I started it probably like 2 months ago. I'm like, I don't know, Facebook is kind of a different vibe for me, I feel like.
Yeah, no, I feel, yeah, for reals.
It's so different. I feel like it's just a little more colder in a sense. Like, I don't know, on Instagram, I just feel like I'm just can blab whatever I want, and people are very receptive. Facebook is like an intermix of like my everyday people I see with, that's why I kind of started the page kind of separate.
Yeah.
When it comes to like my everyday life and friends that I see a lot, I feel like I'm bothering them just with the constant like encouragement and Survivor and I'm this and I've gone through that. So I kind of like try to separate the two with, you know, I'm on Facebook, but I have a separate page if you want to hear my story. You know, like, so people aren't just like, all the time. I just feel like sometimes I'm bothering people, and I'm probably not, but that's just my feeling. And so I try to separate it.
But like, when did you feel comfortable with the word survivor? Because even being, you know, NED for 2 years, I didn't like that word. I like to say I'm cancer free for now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and for me, I guess maybe when I reach the 5-year mark, because that's how cancer is measured, but I don't know that. I don't know.
Well, even when, like, I've said prior to, like, I didn't want to tell anybody my story. Like, I ignored it, and I acted like I was fine, and I didn't want to, like, thank you, Nikki. I didn't want to, like...
Nikki, thanks for sticking around, sister.
Yeah. I didn't want to, like, do anything that had to do with my story. So, like, for a long time, I ignored it. And when they told me, like, okay, God, Katie, you made it 5 years. Like, you are a survivor. And I kind of was like, okay, I made it. Like, wow, here I am. So I just kind of started, like, on my personal page on Instagram, I was like, I'm going to do this melanoma awareness thing. So I started, like, posting every day something about my story or something have to do with melanoma. I did it every single day for 30 days. And then I was like, I felt really good afterwards. I was like, holy shit, this is cool. Sorry that I'm saying bad words, but I'm just saying.
No, I'm like, trying to, I have a mouth of a sailor, so.
So do I.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, I felt like I was like, and sometimes when I'm really passionate, the words come out. So if I'm offending anyone, I'm sorry. But I just was like, okay, you know what? I'm doing this. I'm going to create a page and I'm going to just go all out and hold nothing back. And I'm just going to blab everything. And so
hi,
here
Kylie. I am. Sorry, I know her. She's like, oh man, I knew her. I met her when she's a family friend's daughter.
My daughter's name's
She was like 12 and now she's like an adult and I can't deal with it.
Yeah, I understand that. My daughter's 17 and her name's Kylie, and I get that.
Oh, like, look at that, too, Kylie.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. I just kind of feel like I'm at a point or crossroads in my life where I'm just like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to, like I said, just be really raw and emotionally.
Well, and you know, that's why like posting my brain pictures, like some people might be offensive or like Facebook kind of, you know, blocked one, but like I don't care. Like that's real life sometimes.
Right. I got banned actually from TikTok. TikTok literally banned me.
Why?
Because I shared, I don't know if it was like something I did, had to have done specifically, but I posted this story that had to do with my story, obviously, and it was like my armpit photos, and then they banned that, so they took it off. So then I was like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
So then I posted another thing about cancer, and then the next thing you know, right after I posted it, they're like, you're temporarily banned. Your account is frozen. And I was like, what the frick? That was like right before, probably 3 weeks before quarantine happened. And I've emailed them, nothing. I've got no words at all. So
It's crazy how sex sells, but you can't sell cancer, right?
I know, like, how in the hell is that offensive? I'm sorry, but to me that makes zero sense, because
you can show a little side boob, but you can't show.
Yeah. So it's really been bothering me, and I've been trying to fix it and just trying to figure out why I got banned in the first place. But so yeah, I'm only on Facebook and Instagram, and used to be TikTok, but not anymore.
Yeah, I just use that to make videos, and then even that's hard because you got to mask the TikTok flashing thing. I hate that. Like, it wasn't always like that.
Yeah. I started TikTok for same thing. I wanted to do awareness. There are tons of kids on there. Yeah. Tons of people and I grew a following really quick. I mean, I got 2,000 followers within like 2 months. I mean, people were interested. Yeah. And then it was like, how the hell are you going to spam me for it? So it's irritating. It still bothers me, as you can tell.
Yeah. Well, fight the fight. You fought cancer. So take down TikTok. That's how I feel about it.
I'm trying, but with everything you've gone through, this will be my last question, so we don't just take over.
My husband just got home, and I gotta go get the kids. They're like, how much longer?
I know, right? How are your friends handling everything?
Very supportive. So, like, I feel like I like to be like the giver, and support and all that, and just when I thought that, like, nobody gave I'm going to say a bad word, shit about me.
Yeah.
Like, meal trains were coming, and cakes, and, lotions, and, support, like, if you and the boys need anything. I was just like, I was taken aback by that. I was like, I didn't think anybody, like, really, like, you just go about life, or, just being on social media or whatever, like, you don't really know who's following you or paying attention. And
that's true.
I was like, oh. So, I'm very thankful and grateful for that.
Well,
I don't know if that answered your question. But
no, yeah, that does. That's really good. Well, I'm happy for you. Well,
we'll do this again. And again, thank you for bringing everybody together and let me be a part of it.
Yeah, I'm glad you're a part of it. And I'm glad you did this video, even though there was so many disruptions in the beginning.
I know. This one's a good one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go record it and on my YouTube and stuff.
Okay, sounds good. All right, well,
nice meeting you. One day we're going to meet in person.
Yes, we will.
And we're going to take over Arizona.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, bye.
Have a good weekend. See ya.
See you. Bye.